So I will be completely honest with you guys. Wasn't gonna talk about this, but then someone asked me to talk about this, and I'm gonna be even more honest with you guys, man. I didn't even know G4 even returned as like a television or internet TV show program until this occurred, until my friend showed me. And I honestly, if you want my honest opinion, before I even start talking about this, I'll be real honest with you guys. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this honesty? No, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if some woman is ranting about how mean and sexist guys are on there. I thought we were done. I left this back in 2016, man. I thought we were done with all the feminist rants about girls and gaming and blah 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 and blah and blah. But I guess not. I guess she had to resurrect this like it's the Edo Tensei and come back at us again with this stuff. So I don't even know this woman's name. I don't really care too much about this woman's name. But let's kind of go over this stuff and, I guess, discuss. So, she'll take us away.
Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening. Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child.
Here we go again, resurrecting an old property in order to cash out on nostalgia points. Oh my gosh, it's not like we haven't been doing this for the last 10 years. Ooh, G4 is back, yay!
But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us, I can see you, without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous host.
Tell me you're insecure without actually saying you're insecure.
It's somehow...
Talk to him, Frost!
Like Jack Frost? I knew that woman reminded me of somebody. I knew she did.
Has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment. It's not a compliment.
It's
weird. We are in the age of OnlyFans ushered into us by ye old Kim Kardashian. I'm sure a lot of people probably never made the connection, but yeah, we're in the state of affairs because of Kim. Yeah, I might have to make a whole video essay talking about that one of these days. But considering the fact that women try very hard to get male attention and their resources by utilizing their sexuality, I mean, honestly, saying that someone is beautiful is kind of just a nice way of saying I would like to have sex with you. And saying that they jerked off to you is kind of the most crude way of saying they want to have sex with you. And I understand that you probably would prefer the nice way to the crude way, but all paths lead to the same thing. And if you're a woman on the internet, if you're a woman that uses Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, you know. I know you know. I know that you know. We all... Come on, fam. You know what I mean?
It's dehumanizing and it's weird.
You know what else is a little bit dehumanizing and weird that no one really seems to bat too much of an eye about? It's the fact that there are actually some men that will record their women and then upload videos of them having sex and have other people pay for that. That's a bit dehumanizing, but no one ever really talks about that. That doesn't really seem to bother people too much. I don't know why. This also really doesn't have anything to do with what we're saying here other than the fact that, people use sexuality as a commodity all of the time. Are you new? Where have you been for the last 5 years?
Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Batten down the hatches, gentlemen. It's time to see my saucy side. Now, even if you're just tuning in, you know I make a habit of using my raw sexual instinct. It's a side of me that... Okay, stop. You guys, stop. Cut the music. Cut the music, seriously, all right? Now, you know, I really think that my sexuality is something I need to express. It's natural for an artist. Oh, crap! Just roll it.
turn more towards
to
no,
you or
the other way,
okay.
and then he can grab
And then,
that,
okay.
and then what we'll do is we'll do stop motion with it, and we'll put it on YouTube.
After hours.
Star Wars Celebration. You are a wonderland of sights, sounds, and smells. But while there are dozens of Lukes, Hans, and Stormtroopers here at the convention, it takes someone very special, someone unique to pull off Princess Leia. Well, someone like me.
Hey, she cooking, y'all.
And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Just go ahead and check out Thorne's latest meltdown on Twitter for some spark notes. Now, here at XPlay, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden. So we divide and conquer. And when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review. And that's not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. That's why we're XPlay and not Adam Play. We have done the experiment and controlled for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed.
No, honestly, maybe she's right that this is occurring and this is happening. I mean, I don't really know. I'll take her word for it. I just don't really think that this is, dare I would say, the vibe, if you will. If I use the ancient language of my forefathers, I don't know if she should be keeping this energy here. I don't know if like nagging or like finger wagging in people's face and saying, "Hey, don't be mean, don't you be sexist, you," is gonna like make people not do that. If anything, it's kind of more like having a little bit of blood in the water. If you catch my drift.
And yeah, it also happens to Gerard and TBH, but that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true, that there is a general hatred of any change that isn't Adam, and that I'll receive special flame just for being a woman.
No, you're wrong. You will receive special flame for just being a woman that's not attractive. You have to keep the narrative consistent.
And I wish I could turn the camera around so that you could see the incredible team that make XPlay. Half of our producers and writers are women. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Gabby. It goes on and on and on.
It all comes down to this one penalty kick. Can the young woman break the glass ceiling and prove once and for all that a female can be just as good an athlete as a male?
You know, Amy, anytime someone calls attention to the breaking of gender roles, it ultimately undermines the concept of gender equality by implying that this is an exception and not the status quo. What? Just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
Former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa, when you're in our DMs or on those YouTube comments or in Twitch chat right now, those reactionary threads thinking that I'm somehow ruining your current XPlay experience because you can't objectify me how you previously did to Morgan.
Look, listen. Let's be real. You're not upset about the fact that women are objectified. You're upset about the fact that you're not objectified. Because let's be honest, if you are super beautiful, if you were really attractive, if you just ooze sexuality and sensuality, you would not be making this rant. You would not be complaining. Have you ever seen a beautiful woman sit around and complain about the fact that so many guys just really love her when she uses that beauty to her advantage? Did Olivia Munn do that? Did Morgan do that? No, and no. Because they can't. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. I mean, you can bite the hand that feeds you, but I mean, you know, it's not a good look. It's not gonna really help you out in the long run. Okay, you're insecure. And I understand that, and it's okay to be insecure. Truly it is. But let's be friggin' real here. That's not what you're upset about. You're not upset about the fact that you get called. You're upset about the fact that you're not as attractive as these other girls, and these people probably were reminding you of high school. They're probably reminding you of that insecurity constantly. And I'm gonna be honest with you, fam. You're just gonna have to grow thicker skin, because yelling at these people about it isn't gonna make them change. It's not gonna make them reevaluate themselves. They're not gonna watch this video and say to themselves, "Oh no, I was wrong all this time. I should have never talked about the fact that she was ugly. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. It's just not gonna happen. I'm telling you, what actually is gonna happen is lots of people are gonna get upset. They're gonna get annoyed at your feminist speech, and then they're gonna make plenty of response videos. Actually, that is exactly what happened. It's not what's going to. That is exactly what happened.
Or that I'm somehow less qualified to speak on something, but you can't quite put your finger on why, even though I'm reading the exact same script as Adam.
You know, honestly, the reason why people feel like you're a little bit less qualified actually is kind of perfectly encapsulated in this clip right here.
Is there something it could do to win you over more?
I don't know. I guess it would have to be, again, in the narrative. I think TBH is right that you just need quality of life adjustments. You don't need to change the formula at all, and everyone's just looking for a narrative payoff. For me personally, I would be more interested in more female-driven narratives, but that's not really why you go to God of War, and that's not really set up for it, and that's totally fine. Not every game has to be for everyone. I still enjoy it for what it is.
It's like, come on, fam. God of War? God of War. That one, that God of War. You want more female stories somehow wedged in between this.
To kill me for that to happen. I warned you. Finally. You would not listen. No. Fine. My turn. How incredibly disappointing.
It's like, come on. It's like, come on. It's like, it's when you say stuff like that. Okay, fine. I mean, what do we got? Like, Freya is now on her revenge quest against Kratos and Atreus because they beat her baby boy Baldur. Sure, fine, but like, legitimately, like, women just aren't interested in God of War.
The God of War games just did not interest me. I had no interest in that storyline or that type of character. To me, when I looked at them, I saw a million other games that I could rather play, and I know that there's that divisive or polarizing conversation around like the landscape of gaming about changing the type of main characters that we're playing. And so when the new one came out and I finally did get to sit down and play it, I'll be really honest, I like begrudgingly picked up the controller. I was like, oh man, this game is supposed to be really good and I don't want to play it.
And you want to know something? That's okay. It's okay that women aren't interested in God of War. At least it should be okay for women to not be interested in God of War. That's just not what they want. Listen, you saying that you're more interested, you want to see more female stories in God of War would be like me saying that, I don't know, maybe there should be more martial arts in 90210. You know, in Dawson's Creek, there should be more explosions, you know, and more fist fights. Something like that. That's like me saying, you know what? It'd be really nice if, like in Grey's Anatomy, all of a sudden, Meredith just started dueling people to the Shadow Realm utilizing a children's card game. That would make the show far more interesting. It's like, listen, fam, it's like being tone deaf, or it's like not being attentive to what you're talking about. When you start saying stuff like this, that we need more female stories or more female-centered stories, and an IP that is generally targeted towards men and generally does not have a subject matter that's interested to women, people aren't going to trust what you're saying because they're going to be thinking you're peddling a narrative. So you have to stop doing stuff like that or saying goofy shit like that if you want people to take you more seriously. People don't take you less seriously because they think you're ugly. They take you less seriously because you say a bunch of feminist nonsense that just doesn't match up with what we're talking about. That's what it is. You being ugly has nothing to do with it. I don't think.
But you have no problem with he's part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space.
You know, honestly, with the influx of attractive women that are pretending to be interested in video games, comics, manga, and anime just so they can make a quick buck, I think there should be a little bit more gatekeeping. I don't mind women not being interested in male-dominated subjects or media, if you will. If they just were to go and do their own thing, I'd be perfectly content and fine with that. You ever notice how men don't ever invade female spaces and try to make it cater to them? You ever notice how men don't do that? That's why it's annoying. But for some reason, feminists seem to not be able to grasp the fact that men are not annoyed at the fact that women are interested in the same things that men are interested in. They're annoyed at the fact that women come into these spaces and then they make that interest all about them. And they make the focus all about them and how pretty they are, or how special they are, or how impressed they are, or how men don't treat them, or how blah blah. It's all me, 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 me. And it's like, what does this have to do with anything? We don't care about you. We didn't come here to talk about you. And it's annoying. And then people are tired of it. Case in point, your entire rant is a perfect coalition of exactly what we are tired of. That's why we should have gatekeeping. This right here. This right here. Think you're the only person that gets shitted on because you're not attractive in any space? You're not. But for some reason, it's special now. It's not. It's annoying, but you have to gain the strength of character to deal with this stuff and not complain about it to people that obviously don't like or care about you. Can't complain people that don't like you into being neutral, let alone into liking you. You have to deal with it and win them over with your merit. And whatever merit you have, which you might have, I don't know you. I mean, I'm going to be gracious. Now, you might. This ain't the vibe. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not.
So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
I mean, she's not wrong. I mean, let's not forget the fact that G4 has been gone for well over 10 years now, so it's not like we're gonna lose sleep at night if we don't get G4 again. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. So that's the end of that. And you want me to be honest with you guys? I'm gonna repeat myself here and say, I don't really care. I mean, it's annoying, sure, but I mean, you know, like I said, I thought we were kind of done with this stuff here, but I guess we're not. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I thought we were done with feminists complaining about men. Actually, now that I said it out loud, yeah, I am wrong. I just haven't paid attention to it, because I'm just tired of this nonsense. I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. So, let me address this woman authentically. Seriously, if you will. It's obvious that this rant is fueled by a huge amount of insecurity she's probably been feeling for most of her life because she's not an attractive woman. And she probably never really got the plus 15 charisma points she would have gotten if she was attractive. So that whole lack of pretty privilege probably put a chip on her shoulder. And she probably feels hypercritical, or she's hypercritical of her femininity in an environment where there's lots of men usually. The problem is, while it may be an interesting conversation to be had, and I do think it's a conversation worth having, I don't think nagging at people is ever going to make them change. I don't think it's ever going to make them reevaluate themselves. I don't think any of the, quote, sexist dudes that are out there, and maybe there are a few, but let's be real, most of the dudes that are labeled sexist are more sexist by definition than they are, or sexist by faux pas definition, than they are men that legitimately hate women. And they might be out there, but they're not the ones playing the video games and donating on Twitch and stuff. Let's be real. I get it. I do. And it's a legitimate conversation to be had. And I think it's a fun conversation. Maybe even a serious one. But nagging at people, showing them your weakness, showing them your insecurity, bearing your belly to the individuals that don't like you is not going to change their opinion. It's not going to make them think differently. Showing your weakness here is not going to make these guys reevaluate themselves and be nicer. If anything, it's just going to add blood in the water and make these sharks attack more ferociously than they were already going to do before. Case in point, all of the different response videos that are coming out against you right now. The truth of the matter is, you win men over with your merit. And if there's any lesson to be brought out from here, that's what the lesson is. If you're a woman and you really want men to like you, you really want to convince men to not focus so much on your vaginas, don't make it an issue. Don't make it a thing. Don't highlight it. Let your actions speak for themselves. If you show men that you've got the ability, that you can do it, if you can do what's right and do it well, men aren't going to give a two-shit flying fuck about the fact that you're a woman unless they want to have a relationship with you. And at that point, then you're just kind of back to square one because that's probably the existence you'd have anyway. If you're in an environment that's mostly male-dominated, do what's right, do your job well, and don't complain about the fact that you may get different treatment or whatever. Unless you're legitimately being mistreated, unless you're legitimately in danger, unless you're legitimately in trouble, complaining about this, about the fact that people aren't masturbating to you, probably ain't the vibe. Just saying. So that being said, I just hope you guys got something out of today's video, and if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go and click that one, pow! Subscribe. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.